So about a year ago, Critical Role released their new subscription service, Beacon. This was supposed to be the premium experience for fans of the biggest Dungeons & Dragons streaming show of all time.
Hello, you're here to learn about Beacon, not only the extraordinary home for everything Critical Role, but also the best way to support the very important work that we do here.
Can someone zip me up?
Not only would you get the same benefits as YouTube memberships or Twitch subscriptions, but on top of that, you get exclusive merch discounts, you get early ticketing to shows, you get exclusive shows that are available just on this platform. It sounded like a good deal. A lot of bigger content creator companies have been working to separate themselves from platforms. Stuff like Patreon, YouTube memberships, they take a good cut. And if you're running a company with like actual employees and overhead, every little bit of cash counts. So Critical Role wanting to promote their own platform, it made sense. And it got a lot of people, including me, excited. I mean, look at Dropout TV. They run one of the best subscription platforms of all time. They started as just a YouTube channel. Now, some of my favorite shows of 2025 came off of Dropout. If Critical Role can even do like a fraction of that, that makes me a very happy fan. I didn't get Beacon at the time. Frankly, I wasn't hearing anything explosively great about it, so I decided to wait. But when Critical Role Campaign 4 rolled around, I decided to do up-to-date coverage on my second channel. In order to do up-to-date coverage, I need to, have immediate access to the episodes. So a Critical Role Beacon subscription became my new goal. I got it, and I didn't have really high expectations. Once again, I hadn't heard anything super good, but I hadn't heard anything really bad. So I logged on, and, well, I was thoroughly unimpressed. Beacon is a bit of a broken mess. I thought it was just a me problem, but as I looked online, I saw a lot of people with the exact same reaction. And for an app that's been out for a year now, I think that's unacceptable. So today, we're going to be talking about all the problems with Critical Role's Beacon and hopefully making enough noise that they finally fix this thing. Because for something that the brand is clearly pushing for, it's not getting the work it requires. Without further ado, guys, let's get started. Okay, so my experience up first. I subscribed to Beacon and watched the first episode of Critical Role live on their platform. It worked just fine, buffered a little bit and the quality decreased at times, but I figured that was just a Wi-Fi skill issue on my part. I didn't have time to watch the whole episode that night, so I logged off, planning to watch the VOD the next day. I logged back on, and my progress wasn't saved on the VOD. Like, I saw that the app had tracked how far I got into the episode, but when I clicked on it, my progress was reset to the beginning. Like, you saw that, right? That was on camera. That's unedited. I have to, pinky promise, that's unedited. I reproduced it on camera. If you reset the page, it can just reset your progress on the episode. Holy crap, I caught that first try. I rolled my eyes, got a little annoyed, but it wasn't a big deal. I scrubbed through the 4-hour episode until I finally found my place again, and I continued watching. A few hours later, I'm like, hey, I want to make dinner. So I leave, I come back, I rebooted the page, and guess what? It reset my progress again. At this point, I'm really annoyed, because resetting progress on episodes I'm watching, it's annoying no matter what, but with Critical Role, it's particularly irksome because these are 4-hour plus episodes. Finding where you were and scrubbing through everything, it takes a bit, and while it's not the worst thing in the world, it certainly is irritating, and again, I'm paying for this platform. I rolled my eyes and continued with my life, but as I continued to watch Critical Role Campaign 4, this just happened over and over and over again, both on the browser and especially on my iPhone. And in terms of watching Critical Role on the television, yeah, forget that. That used to be the default way I watch Critical Role. I love watching the show while I eat, but since Beacon does not have a smart TV app, I decided, hey, let me try to cast my phone screen onto my TV, and Beacon does not like that. Desyncing, crashing, that was the norm. Now, casting is buggy at the best of times, at least in my experience, but that's why you have a smart TV app. I understand not having one at launch, but Beacon has existed for a full year, and there's no news of this. Dropout TV has one. Can Critical Role lock in and get one too? Pretty please? I want to know if anyone else is having these problems. I mean, paid services being this buggy tends to piss people off, so I go to the famous Critical Role Glazer subreddit to see what people are saying, and to my surprise, they had a lot of bad things to say. This video is sponsored by World Anvil, the complete digital GM and writer toolkit. Everything you need to perfect your world building. Look, for years, my world building was a hot mess. I just had everything crammed into a series of 1,000 Google Docs, but with World Anvil, I actually started to get things organized. Their nested maps are gorgeous, allowing you to organize your world building in a very aesthetically pleasing way. There's also detailed templates for wiki-style articles for everything from NPCs to locations to plot points. These templates don't just make the writing easier, they also can give you ideas. A lot of the Phantom City of Karakonos was created by just filling in World Anvil's templates. It's got everything. If you're a player, it's got many tools to help you organize your characters. If you're a writer, it'll help you with organizing your latest novel. It's got everything. If you want 51% off any yearly subscription to World Anvil, then use the code on screen or the link down in the description or the pinned comment so that you can take your world building to the next level. Thank you so much to World Anvil for sponsoring today's episode. As always, supporting our sponsors does support us. Without further ado, let's get back to that commentary. Keep in mind, this is like the subreddit famous for everybody loving Critical Role and not tolerating any criticism, hence why I called it the Glazer subreddit, and still didn't stop this criticism from becoming quite the norm when it comes to discussing Beacon. You guys ready for some RPG horror story nostalgia? Welcome back to Reddit. Beacon's been rewinding my videos recently too. I'm on my phone and have it in PIP. I pause it, close my phone to do something, and then come back and press play. It goes back sometimes to the beginning of the video. My biggest gripe is not having captions available in PIP, but I think a lot of apps have that problem and it bugs the heck out of me. My only issue is connecting to Chromecast. Absolutely hates that. Once it's connected, it'll play 2 to 3 minutes tops, then gives me the Beacon cap screen. It takes forever to reconnect it because I have to get rid of the pop-up window and get the app to close. Half the time, my episode will reset to the beginning. I was watching an episode with Bluetooth headphones on. I went to another room and got out of range, so they disconnected, which is normal, but it also reset the episode to the very start. I use iPhone and Beacon is unusable for me. If I switch apps, lock my phone, or anything that isn't my phone unlocked, and the Beacon app opens, it shuts down and rewinds at least 3 minutes every time. This isn't even the worst part. If I use my computer to watch and I pause the browser to go cook food or anything, the player won't remember where I'm at all, and I'll have to watch from the beginning. Yeah, it's pretty bad in Android too. If I cast on my TV, which is usually how I prefer to watch, it can very quickly become unsynced. If I leave the app open on my phone, it has to be in picture-in-picture mode, which makes it much harder to do anything with my phone, so I always have to stop the app on my phone and control it with my TV remote instead. But this means I literally have to write down the timestamp when I stop watching, or the app could be upwards of an hour behind. I use Android, and Beacon drains my battery like no other app. I had a video playing, and it shut my screen off just to hear the audio. My battery went from 8% to 30% in a 3-hour span just from the audio somehow. It's crazy. That is all one thread. All that criticism was just one out of many threads all made about how broken the Beacon experience is. And that's the glazing subreddit. There's another Critical Role subreddit called Fans of Critical Role that's dedicated to free speech and making sure people can say whatever they want about Critical Role and its cast. We should probably check what they have to say about this whole Beacon nonsense. I'm sure it's all very eloquent and... Maria Iyengar has committed crimes against humanity. You know, in hindsight, I really don't know what I was expecting. That's my bad. But look, the point is that clearly I'm not the only one who has had a very, very bad experience with Beacon. But I will disagree with one sentiment I saw online. A post on the Critical Role subreddit reads the following: Beacon is exactly what I wanted and I hated it. TLDR, these bugs make justifying the cost of Beacon impossible. That last point I completely agree with, but the idea that Beacon is everything I wanted? Yeah, no. No, it's not. Look, Critical Role could fix all the bugs tomorrow, And I still think Beacon would not be a worthwhile subscription. This app is mid. It's mid as hell. Let's just start with some basic features. For starters, as an app that hosts tons of podcasts, not just Critical Role, but most of the exclusive content on this app is audio-only podcasts. There is no native podcast download for this app. It links separate RSSs, which is fine, I guess, but again, for a premium app you're paying for, I expect there to be a native download on the Beacon app. Why do I have to open a completely separate app, completely separate window, and go download it over there? I want to download it here. That's what I'm paying for. Most premium services have download features native. This can't even do it for the podcast version of these episodes, which is wild. Besides that, the UI is also a mess. On browser, you have to scroll in order to find the last episode that you watched. Are you kidding me? The continue watching section is below a bunch of other advertised crap that I don't want to watch. Like, let me just watch the thing I was just watching 5 minutes ago. Maybe Beacon is trying to protect me, though. Maybe the developers were well aware that this app is never going to remember where you were in the episode, so they try to hide it from you just to save you the disappointment. Honestly, kind of based. On browser, navigating the website is not too bad, though I can see how it could be convoluted, especially if it had more content. On mobile, though, navigation is just a straight up nightmare. These shows are organized worse than Netflix somehow, and I didn't even think that was possible. Luckily for Beacon, there's not much content on the app to sort through, so it's not too much of a problem, but frankly, that's another one of my problems, which is there's not much content on Beacon. Like, when they announced Beacon, I kind of expected that we would go back to Critical Role Campaign 2's content model. Critical Role used to do a bunch of spin-off shows like All Work No Play, Critter Hug, Talks Machina, stuff like that. Hell, even Three-Sided Dive seems to have been folded with the end of Critical Role Campaign 3. So I was expecting, with Beacon, we would bring all that stuff back into play, especially a year later. However, the exclusive content on Beacon is very lackluster. Keep in mind that back during Campaign 2, they were doing all that spin-off content just on their YouTube channel for like free. Nowadays, you instead have some audio-only D&D podcasts, which are really good. I think the quality is actually really high. These aren't just like yappy D&D podcasts. They actually have a lot of sound effects and stuff, which is cool.
Most of them, small, fun encounters of a little spirit being mischievous or endearing, but one that details an encounter with a great bear stomping through the Demethor Valley in the night.
You have stuff like Fireside Chat, which is just an open Q&A with one member of the cast. These are uploaded every blue moon, and they're cute, but they're basically just a yap session with a cast member who takes some questions from their Discord and answers them, which is neat. You also have Cooldown, which is essentially an after show that happens immediately after the episode ends. I thought this would be like the new version of Four-Sided Dive or Talks Machina, where we get to go more in depth about the show, but it's really just word vomit that the cast does immediately after an episode, which, don't get me wrong, it's fun. It's really fun to see these people get so excited and theorize about what's going to happen next. You get some cool insights into the cast, but this is still far from any sort of quality I'd expect on a subscription platform. Like, you're just leaving the camera on after you stop rolling on the live show. It's not the biggest deal in the world. And then last up is the thing that I actually really like, which is Weird Kids, a podcast with Taliesin Jaffe and Ashley Johnson. This show is really good. The premise is good. Taliesin and Ashley talking about their experience in child acting. Taliesin and Ashley clearly get along. They've got good chemistry, and the guests they bring on from the rest of the cast, it works really well. I think this podcast has some legs, and I've enjoyed listening to the episodes. These guys have genuinely fascinating insights, but I once again return to the idea of, is this worth a subscription cost? And the resounding answer is, hell no. This is what I get just like on a free YouTube channel. I was actually surprised that they're keeping it exclusive to Beacon, but in hindsight, it kind of makes sense because besides this, there's not much other content here. This platform is shockingly barren. Like, looking back on the Campaign 2 era, we had a lot going on, and I understand that a bunch of Critical Role glazers are about to jump into my comments and say, well, they can't do all that content because Brian W. Foster is gone. Okay, look. If you're unaware, Brian W. Foster used to host a bunch of shows on Critical Role's channel, especially during Campaign 2, and that all came to a screeching end when his relationship with Ashley Johnson, for lack of a better word, blew up. There are a lot of really horrible allegations against Brian W. Foster, and if those allegations are true, yeah, screw that guy, never bring him back, obviously. But I don't know if this is a hot take, but one host being bad does not mean you forever banish the idea of having any host ever at all. Hire a different host? You're in LA. It shocked me when Critical Role Campaign 3 came out and they replaced Tox Machina with Four-Sided Dive, which frankly was a mess. It was a mismatch of a bunch of different things they used to do during Campaign 2, like gaming together and doing the talk show together, but instead of having an actual host who could guide the episode a little bit or at least provide some comedy, they instead have a random host, and half the time they didn't even remember the format. It was a mess, and the only good thing about it was the theme song. That theme song does bang. Though now, with Beacon, their, again, paid service, Four-Sided Dive is not even a thing anymore. The only thing we've got is the Yap sessions after the episodes, which are fun, but they're not a substitute. What about stuff like All Work, No Play? My mom enjoyed that show. She's not even a Critical Role fan. Sam and Liam going out and doing weird stuff in LA and doing a little talk show podcast thing about it. I really loved that show and was hoping we could get more episodes with this new Beacon subscription, but no, none of that either. It's wild that back during Campaign 2, there was so much more energy and so much more content, which was all released for free. But now that they're asking for money, all that energy, it's all gone. I just want them to conjure like maybe just 1% of it so that they can make their subscription service something that's actually worth money. And they don't even just need to do shows. Like, for God's sakes, you're a TTRPG platform. Why not use Beacon or your website to release exclusive D&D or Daggerheart content? Like back during Campaign 2, once again, Matt Mercer was releasing stuff on D&D Beyond. Could we get stuff released on the Beacon website or on Critical Role's website? The Beacon subscription already does give you exclusive benefits like the merch discount. Like, this isn't a crazy idea. What about exclusive Daggerheart content? I mean, you got Chris Perkins working on your game, and you were bragging before Campaign 4 started about having these D&D designers making homebrew for you. Like, can they make homebrew for your paid subscription service? That would be really neat. I don't know, guys. I'm just throwing out ideas here, but it's wild that Critical Role's Beacon seems to give the same amount of content as the Patreons of like small independent YouTubers. Look, these complaints about the content, they're a future thing. I don't think Critical Role can fix that issue for another year or 2 years, which is why I'm so frustrated that it's still a problem now. But what should be fixed immediately is the bugs. The bugs are unacceptable. For something that they're pushing so hard, this app at the baseline needs to work. Right now, it doesn't. It doesn't for a large portion of your fan base, and that needs to stop. But yeah, there you go. My episode on Critical Role's Beacon. A bunch of you guys requested this, and yeah, I've had the same experience as you. Don't worry. In any case, I think this is a legitimate Critical Role controversy, but there have been a bunch of stupid ones, and we talked about all those in the episode Critical Failure. It's linked up in the cards. But before you go, please do go down in the comments to let me know if you were loyal to the tavern by leaving the comment, fix the app, to let me know at the end of the video. You can also leave a like on this episode and subscribe to Crispy's Tavern so you don't miss any of our content when it comes out. And finally, if you want to support us directly, then head over to our Patreon, where you're going to get exclusive D&D and Draw Steel content, as well as an exclusive Discord. You get just as much as Beacon for like less money. It's pretty great. Anyway, in essence, like, comment, subscribe, support. I'll see you all next time. Farewell. While I was taking the notes for this video, I opened up Beacon just to like check that my criticisms are still accurate. I rebooted the page by accident, like hit Control R, and it logged me out for no reason.